Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to talk about physics and how to set physics bodies. So I'm going to use the animation project that I used in one of my previous tutorials just to save some time. Okay, first thing I want to show you is the options by going to Tools, Options and Export. In here there's a property that says Use Physics Properties at Asset Level. This is quite important, and I do recommend excuse me, that you use this setting. The reason for that is that by setting the physics properties at the asset level is that for each object it will inherit those physics properties. If you uncheck that option, it means for every instance of that asset you have to specify the physics per object. So for instance here, if I duplicated that, is that I'd have to set the physics for that object and also for that one. So by setting that option, it just means that you only need to set it once. Okay, so click on the first frame, and in the properties you can see physics. First thing we want to do is say physics is enabled. Okay, and there's various options here. Fixture name, you can give it a name if you're using like a multi-body or a complex body structure. Link physics or link fixtures. So if you are using multiple bodies, it will say I'm going to link them together so that the actual physics attributes can remain the same across all the different physics like bodies or the polygons. Okay, so the basic one here is that once we set it to true, is the body shape will be rectangle. Okay, and for our bird it's probably not the best shape, but what we can do though is if we click on layer, okay, because the bird is part of layer 1, we can say go to layer and we can say show bodies. And this actually just gives us an indication of what the physics body will actually look like, or how it will react or interact with other objects on your scene. So because if we click back on bird, because we've currently got it set as sorry, click back on the asset, because we have it set as a rectangle, obviously we get that. Well, what we could do is we could set it to round and then give it a radius. So we could say it's a 20, so that's too small. If we look how wide, so the width is 192, so we could try something like 80. So as you can see, I'm just trying to set a radius based on this body shape, and that might work. Or in addition to that is you can specify the body shape to be a polygon, and if you set it to polygon, then basically you have to specify the shape or the shapes. It defaults to just one shape, okay, which is main. Sometimes these are referred to as fixtures. So what I could do is I could just I could use the auto trace option. Let's see what it does. Okay, so what it's trying to do is just try to give you a basic polygon based on, you know, the whole shape. Okay, and again that might work quite well. What you can do here is once you've actually once you've got a polygon, you can move the points. If it turns like a solid red, that means you've got a convex polygon, which Corona does not support. So I don't recommend that you do that. So it's best that you do a concave polygon, and if you want to, you can. And also Corona only allows 8 points, which is one of the reasons why sometimes you need to create multiple shapes. Okay, so again that would probably work. If I OK that, you can now see that's what our polygon will look like. But let's clear that, and let's create a multi-body shape. So what we can do, we can say we're going to create one for his head. So let's try and create some kind of shape for his head. Okay, that kind of do for now. And now create a new fixture. Okay, and see what it's done now. It's kind of changed the color of the other shape, because now we're going to do another shape based on his body. And I'm going to kind of exclude his wings, so I'm kind of just going to try and get part of his body kind of like that. What I could potentially do is just try and tweak that a little bit. So now we have two bodies. Okay, we have like the head, so I could actually call that head, and the second fixture as body. And if you notice on the body, the actual physic attributes are disabled, and that's because on the main shape is we have link fixtures set to true. So like I said before, is that now it just means that the density and friction, bounce, etc. Will apply to all the shapes, which, you know, I think in most cases that would suffice. But if you switch that off and then I go to body, now it's enabled, and then I could, for instance, set different attributes for the body. So like that, and obviously there's pretty much it supports all the box 2D properties. You can even set collision categories and bits. So so depending on how it wants to interact with other shapes and things. Okay, that. And again, so because we have show bodies on the layer, it's showing you kind of what it would look like. So now if I run Corona, thinking about it. Okay, we don't actually see anything at the moment, so if I go back, click on the level, click on the background, okay, it's level 01, and then here, it's just a useful property here that allows us to change the debug mode. So I can actually say this, make it hybrid. So now when it exports the level, it will actually set the debug mode. So now if we run it again, there you go, you can see it has two bodies, two physics shapes, each with different physic attributes. So again, when they collide, you know, that they will, you know, collide accordingly based on the settings that you've given them. So again, that's the basics really of setting up physics. Like I said, it's always on. Well, I recommend that you do it on the asset, because like now, say if I create another instance of the bird, you can see that it's applied the physics shapes. So it's really a quick way, you know, of building levels without having to worry about the physics. So that pretty much wraps it up for basic physics. Okay, thank you.